Hey, 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 it is December 8th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective of small business owners, especially martial arts school owners, really figure out this thing called life because our businesses are more than just businesses to us. They are our life. So my holistic approach to cultivating a healthy, balanced, complete small business owner is really my purpose and passion. We could all make a lot of money and be unbalanced and unhealthy, and that's of no value to ourselves or anybody. On the yin to the yang, it ain't cool to be broke. It simply isn't. So cultivating a business that works for you based upon a purpose, based upon core values, based upon a brand promise that you relentlessly strive to deliver day in and day out to the community that you serve is really what this is all about. And that's what I believe has been the success of my businesses over 35 years, from owning a DJ company to being a pop star in the Philippines to um, opening up these martial arts schools, One Martial Arts, to my consulting business, It's Time, to our character development system, Kids Love Life Skills, which we've cultivated and is used all over the world. It's really about that. My purpose is live your best life. And hopefully, through my example, I inspire people to figure out what works for them because you got to live that life. But to simply stick your head in the sand and deny that there are challenges in your business or in your own thinking is ill-fated. And when we talk about emotional content today, the path for me to successful marketing, we're gonna have some of those discussions, those heartfelt discussions. So as you come aboard, say hello. I see Bob Poole there. Conrad, what's up, Conrad? Welcome back from England. I don't know how long you've been back now, sir, but welcome back. Respect martial arts. Folks, always as you come aboard, say hello. I know a lot of people like to watch the broadcast of this after the fact, but really, being here with us, there's something to me magical, even though it's through StreamYard. When I get to see your name said and say Mish, to just see you guys, and it's powerful. It's powerful. And if I can see it, I can be it. And if I can see your name, I can serve you better. I can give you some love and really make the effort to be better about who I am and what I do for you. Cool. Everybody with me on that? So I'm going to start by thanking my sponsors. Of course, we have Tusa, who supplies uniforms to the Olympians in Taekwondo. Wonderful family, great people. We've branched out to doing martial arts gear and uniforms. I buy my uniforms from them. The price point is really good. The silk screen is of quality. And for me, I need a good price point because we give away those beginner uniforms. And then we do a nice advanced uniform with them that I'm very proud of as well, custom made. And if you need their service, talk to Gunny, talk to me, and we'll make sure to take care of you. I know when we talk about vendors for gear, it's always who's the best price. But it really shouldn't only be who's the best price. It's who offers you the best service, the best relationship, especially when something goes wrong. When FedEx messes up a package, or when things aren't in stock, or when you get the wrong sizes, who's going to make good on it? And that for me has always been a big part of the relationship. And if I value that relationship, when that company falls short, I'm not simply jumping ship and going somewhere else. I'm having the trust and the faith that we will work through the issue and resolve it, you know, amicably. And then Market Muscle, Stephen Reinstein and the gang, I love Stephen as a person. He's such a good soul. And for me, that's important. When people are simply money driven, I'm going to be looking over my shoulder at you because that type of mentality, again, is not sustainable. But quality people striving to be better versions of themselves, like Tule at my studio, the gang at Kids Love Life Skills, Elsie Accounting, my sister Letitia, that's important to me. That is important because this thing called life is short. I want to spend it with people I love, I care about, and that are willing to back me up and work through the challenges because we know our businesses have many, 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 many challenges. And if every time I'm pivoting and jumping ship into somebody else, I'm going to have a hard time with that because you're always starting and stopping, starting and stopping. And when it comes to my CRM system, my website, my martial arts, who I buy my supplies from, my bookkeeping, and of course, my character development, I don't want to be changing gears every year, because then there's nothing built out of that. Remember, think the farmer mentality. Great things take time. So what do we got coming up? It's Time Life Canada. You all know I'm coming up to Canada. I believe it's May 25th to 28th. We will be in Canada. It's our first time ever. We're having conversations now because obviously the first 20 spots look like they're already taken. They're going to be taken. People are making verbal commitments. So we may expand that net a little bit to 30 school owners. But I want to make sure that I serve each and every one of you really, really well. So that may mean a couple of group Zoom calls before the actual event, which we've never done before. But if we do decide to go a little bit bigger, I will always do so through the lens that I will not allow the quality of the event to be diminished. We will not do that. If we have to charge more per person, we'll do that route, whatever that takes. But my discipline to my brand promise with It's Time is to offer the best experience possible. So if you're even remotely interested in that, it's May 25th through 28th. You need to be ready to sign up. I'm going to put up the links for that, just as well as It's Time Life Purpose, Marco, in November, right? November 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Both those events we're going to put up before the end of this year. I'm going to tell you why. If you have that purpose slide, go ahead and slap it up there, Marco. I'm going to tell you why. Because you can get the tax write-off before the end of the year. If you're not looking at the money you have right now that you're going to be giving to Uncle Sam in taxes and trying to spend that money on mats, replacing pads, something in your school, then I don't believe that's a really good strategy. The strategy should be look at the profit, put a certain amount of that into your investment account, right? Especially if you have a 401k like us, max out your SEP IRA, your Roth IRA, your 401k, max it out now for 2023, right? Do those things. Otherwise, you're going to take that profit and you're going to give it to Uncle Sam. Please try to minimize your tax responsibility by spending that money. It is. We buy computers, TVs, everything we need towards the end of the year like this becomes a really big thing for us. So I want you to think about that. It's Time Life Purpose. Even though it's November 9th to 12th, get your ticket now. Make that commitment now. Success is something we plan for. It's not something you do knee jerk. Somebody called me up. I couldn't believe it the last it's time, and he goes, "Hey, I want to come out for 4 days." That boat sailed, a month ago. Those spots were completely sold out. I'll get it next time. That is indicative of a thinking that perpetuates many people as human beings, but so much so people that run small businesses. They look for Hail Mary passes. They look for last minute things in order to fulfill their strategy of being successful. Again, success is something that you plan for. So, what's everything about today? Marco, pop up our first slide. I want to read it word for word, today's show topic, so that I don't miss it, okay? That's all right. You'll get that. And if you're coming aboard, say hi. Tell me you're here. We love it when our friends are hanging out with us, and I like to know who is here. So, the topic of today's show, let's get the words right. Thank you, Marco. Emotional content, the path to effective marketing. Now, look at something as simple as the stock market. If it's not driven emotionally, I don't know what is, right? The thing I understand is that people buy based upon emotions, right? And I don't mean to be stereotyped, but how many my women school owners here on the call, go to the mall and buy a bunch of stuff they don't even want, right? And you look later and go, why'd I buy that? So emotional buying, like emotional eating, like emotional anything, dictates us because we are human beings. Remember what Bruce Lee said? Emotional content, right? When he did that scene where he's teaching the kid to kick. The kid kicks, right? And Enter the Dragon. And he goes, what is that? Right? Kick again. And he told him, you have to kick with emotional content. Because when your heart is into it and you create some kind of emotional connection with somebody, when you talk about marketing, there is that connection. And once you create that connection, then the curiosity is there if they want to buy for you or if they don't want to buy from you. Hey, what's happening from Canada? Ivan, what's happening? Ivan in Canada. So I want to be mindful of that we're trying to create emotional connections. Now, we do know in marketing that love and fear, sex and fear, sorry, not love and fear, sex and fear are two great places to market from. It really, really is. So an example of sex is the guy in the bar. He drinks the beer, right? He starts to drink the beer, and all of a sudden, next to him, a spotlight hits a blonde, and a fan is blowing through her hair, and she's looking at him like, "I don't know about you. I mean, I don't drink, but when I was a DJ back in nightclubs, I never saw that scene play out. Never. But they're planting that seed that if you drink this beer, you're going to pick up on some girl, right? And it just, we know it's not true. But what does it do? It has that sexual overtone. This guy's drinking the beer. He looks at the girl. She grabs the beer and she starts drinking it like this, looking at him. If you can't see the phallic symbol there, you're insane. All right. So I get that. I get that. Or the one, late night. If you really want to hear fear based, fear based marketing, it happens a lot late at night. It does. Maybe because they think people are tired and they're susceptible. But as you know, are you or your loved one's going to die tomorrow? You must get our life insurance, right? Or right now, if you don't want to have a massive heart attack, you need to take Ozempic, and on and on. It's designed that way because, again, data will say that sex and fear create an emotional connection. And think about it as a human being. Does sex and fear create some kind of emotional connection? Absolutely. Absolutely, it does. And I witness that in our industry all the time, right? But for me, what I want to encourage you to do, and I hope you're writing this down, and I see a lot of other people coming aboard, say, hey, is that I don't want to design. And I was working with the guys at Dojo Launch, Shouldn't Be Kin, who were talking about their yearly marketing calendar. I don't simply want to market when it is Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, back to school, 4th of July, Easter, Halloween, Christmas. I don't want to base my brand and my brand promise and my why of live your best life simply because there's a Black Friday sale, right? Or simply because it's Christmas time. And we're going to show some ads and stuff in a minute about 11:30 when Brock comes aboard. For me, it's real important. Let's see what Sam is saying. Very important. I am. So I recognize that and I see people lean into everything. The Black Friday sales that came across my Facebook feed were phenomenal, phenomenal. And everything was, white belt in the bag, 2 weeks in a uniform for $69, give the gift that keeps on giving with, a package deal. And for me, I think just for me, and maybe it is just me, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I just feel that we cheapen our brand. We cheapen who we are by simply hopping on the bandwagon. It's kind of like, I don't know if you have this, put it in the comments. Who has that furniture store in your neighborhood that is always going out of business? Put it in the comments. I just want to make sure I'm not the only one. Who has the furniture store in their community, right, in their neighborhood, that's always going out of business? I just want to see who's here. Humor me. Hmm. Anybody? Who has it? Who has it? Anybody? Nobody? I do. Okay. It's down the street from the school, right? And they always, and the thing is with that, they have the white sale day, the white flower day sale. They have the Labor Day sale. They have the Memorial Day sale. They have the going out of business sale. And they've been there for freaking decades. They're not going anywhere. They are not. They are not. They're always going out of business. They always have a sale, because they lack creativity. They lack so many things. That's why something comes along. We have it really big right now. It's called living spaces. And they really took the time to create a culture, right? And they have a purpose statement and a why and brand absolutes and all that. And they really cultivate that. And living spaces, has sustained itself. And when they came along, I walked through that because we have one in our neighborhood and I really studied it. What made it different? You know what? They're never going out of business. If anything, they want to show you we're going to be here day in and day out, month in and month out, year in and year out, here to serve you, right? So I get it. Going out of business, great sales, limited supply, scarcity, right? They're huge on us. Time and scarcity. That's very, very standard in marketing. Right now, limited 20 spots, right? Only 20 spots. You have 72 hours to buy, right? That's standard marketing too. I think even though there is data out there that will prove that it is effective in some arenas, that I don't want to have my demographic, my avatar, my community embrace our brand through those lenses. Do you get what I'm saying about that? I don't want anybody to base our culture and our why of live your best life on 1999 for 3 classes in a uniform, only 20 spots. You have 72 hours before the sale ends. I do not want my brand of live your best life associated with anything like that. Now, that's me. Okay, that's me and how I feel. So what that comes down to then, instead of basing your marketing seasonally, right? New year, new you, great. President's Day sale or Martin Luther King sale, great. Chinese New Year's, you could throw that one in there too. Valentine's, right? How about St. Patrick's Day? How about Groundhog Day? Let's freaking throw Groundhog Day in there. Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July. How about Grandparents' Day? How about Secretary Day? Let's do that one too. Why not just do them all? Again, I personally don't want a brand that I've spent 24 years to build that are based upon very deep, deep, core values that are trusted by our community. Imagine if you're a trusted parent who really loves us, and I throw up a picture of me with an Uncle Sam hat and a white beard going, President's Day sale, win martial arts right now. 2 weeks in uniform for $9.99. It's just, come on, you guys. Come on. And I witnessed that in our industry. And I don't blame our industry. It's because, number one, we lack that purpose, right? The knowledge of what is my purpose? What is my why? What do I want to come to you versus anybody in that community that offers martial arts? Hey, what's up, James? From Resilient Martial Arts. And so for me, when we look at our calendar, whether it's social media or Facebook ads marketing, which I'm challenging the guys at Dojo Launch, soon to be kin, is that we create an annual marketing campaign based upon building relationships, based upon earning trust. You know how powerful that is not to run any kind of special and do a brand awareness campaign, right? What would that look like? And not ask, don't stand there running an ad with your hand out like this, trying to do something slick, right? Something slick simply because, right? You want to get eyes on you. And when Brock's there, let me know, Marco, because this might segue at any minute into Brock being here. Self-care, just had an awesome deep tissue massage. Good for you, James. Yeah, I get my massages twice a week now. Twice a week. This old body is needing some love. And so I want to challenge you to first do an audit. All right. And that audit says go into your social media, go into your Google page, right? Your business page, and tell me you have your Google business page set up. Please tell me you do. And tell me you batch out photos on a weekly basis. Tell me you post updates. Tell me you're always trying to get reviews. Because if that is a static business page which does nothing, Google will drop you in the ranking. Trust me. They need to know you're a dynamic environment. You pay attention to your business and you pay attention to getting people at your Google business page, right? But Google is very passionate about keeping things very honest, very transparent. So they like well-built websites that are Google friendly. So if you're doing some wiki this or what your way, I'd be very challenged by that. You should spend your money well. And having a great crafted website like Market Muscles and then back that up with a brilliant Google business page, do it. It's, to me, meat and potatoes in our industry today. For me, I think Market Muscles, and this isn't a sales fest. This is just my personal data that I witness in our schools. We have done so much better with Market Muscles than we did with our own private website. We've done so much better with market muscles than we did with other companies that we worked with in the past. That's it. That's all I can say about that. So when we talk about emotional content, I need to control the narrative. That's real big for us. So it's not uncommon that you'll see me post a bunch of stuff and then delete it later. That happens all the time. I look back and go, why did I post that? But again, if I'm running every social media post, every Facebook ad through my core values and my why, I begin to nurture a consistent narrative to the main demographic I serve, families, moms, dads, kids between the ages of, 3 and 12, and then teens and adults. I begin to nurture that relationship, and I will happily forego a bunch of low, click cost per click and all those other what Adam calls vanity metrics to really get to the heart and soul of making an emotional connection with somebody, which sparks a curiosity for them to potentially invest in a relationship with you. Okay. Go back and listen to this last 30 seconds about 100 times because I watch haphazardly people just pollute a brand because they have no idea why they do what they do. Why they do what they do. So here's my example. A different example. My game plan. If I look at somebody like Resilient Martial Arts, all right, they're resilient. So I would go into a thesaurus, look up resilient, right, and see other words. Grit. Grit is a good one for resilient. So what would that look like? Because remember, I want to promote my why, I want to promote my brand, but I also want to speak to my demographic. I want to speak to my demographic and make sure that I'm creating that emotional connection, right? In today's challenging world, as parents, we would all agree. Let me back that up. As parents, we would all agree in this challenging world that our children need more grit, right? Grit's another word for resilient. So there you go. So I already created that emotional connection. Like, yeah, my kid needs more grit. It's a challenging world out there, right? So you make that emotional connection by addressing the elephant in the room, versus starting your ad with, we teach focus and discipline, or even worse, you start with one martial arts, right? Never do that. You should watch a piece by Simon Sinek called The Golden Circle. Write it down. Simon Sinek's The Golden Circle. And it's one of the most watched TED Talks, but it is like you couldn't have done a better explanation of what goes on in most small businesses. So let me take a deep breath. Most businesses will market from the what, right? Classic example, drive through your neighborhood, see a big ass sign, it says pizza. That's the what. For us in our martial arts industry, I see it all the time at Facebook and social media. The biggest thing in your flyer or your ad is the name of your school and your logo. The biggest thing, when all actuality, for effective marketing and creating emotional connection. Remember, this is all about creating what? An emotional connection, right? It should be the last place you market from. So, what are we? We're a martial arts school. Some will market from the how. How do we do it? Quality martial arts instructions, life skills taught by an amazing staff. The how. But very, 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 well, I'd say that most of the time, nobody will market from the why. If you look at our website homepage right now, it says, live your best life. That is our mantra. That is our brand promise. That is what we offer people. Hey, what's up, Adam from the UK? How you been, Adam? I hope everything's good. How are things going with your stunt? He has stunt. Is it all stunt now? Martial arts stunt, sir? Is it all? If I recall correctly, Adam, right? And so, I want to be mindful of that. And if you go back and start looking at your stuff, the other thing that I think lacks tremendously in creating an emotional connection is you don't understand the native environment that you're working in. Write that down, right? When you don't resize a picture for Instagram, right? When you shove a link in your Instagram nobody can click on it. Instagram doesn't behave that way, you know. Um, Adam's in meetings, so it's just going to be me and Brock. And so, with that said, when you do things like throw a link in the comment up top when you do a post at Instagram, they frown on that. That's why you want to put it down in the comments. You want to put it in the profile of Instagram, things like that. If you don't know me and you don't know how to behave in my environment, then guess what? I'm simply going to frown upon that, and you won't get any eyes on you. So something as basic as resizing a picture from Facebook, specs to Instagram specs to the Google business page specs to your LinkedIn spec, be mindful of that. Something as basic as that, not putting a link when you post something at Instagram, instead throwing it in the comments or under the prompt. Little basic behaviors like that. Hey, Garth, what's happening, Garth? Little things like that really say, you get me. And the algorithms are just looking for consistencies. They don't like people that are simply trying to trick them and do black hat tactics, however you want to slice or dice that. But that's just technical stuff. But it's technical stuff I want you to be very mindful of, because I don't always just simply cut and paste content from one platform to the other. And that's why sometimes I'd be mindful, even though I use the Meta Business Suite on the back end, or you could use something like Hootsuite. There's a lot of them out there that I want to resize pictures. I want to take out links. I want to, format it so it says, I get you, Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn or Snap, whatever you're using, that I get you. And I respect you. I understand that behavior, right? Does that make sense? And I witness that all the time, all the time, all the time. And you may not think it's a big deal because you're in a rush and you just simply go, share, 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 cut and paste, and you're not thinking about it. But that part of it, that nuts and bolts behavior, is super, 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 super important, right? Just like I choose not to use Chat GPT. I will not use it because there is no emotional content. It's simply data-driven copy based upon what you feed it. It lacks emotional content, no matter what I say to or what I do. And again, when those Google algorithms are hunting around your blog, your website, and they know it's ChatGPT, you're going to get frowned upon. I have the #1 martial arts blog. I've said that openly. Google martial arts blog right now, and you'll find One Martial Arts, because I cultivate original content. I use spell check, because sometimes my grammar's not as tight as I'd like it to be, but I never take out the humanness. I learned that from John Corcoran when I was writing articles. Sometimes they weren't grammatically correct, but they read really well. Write that down. So when you write copy, you want it to read well. What do I mean by that? Sometimes thee, thou, art, this perfect English, it's so sterile that it becomes fragmented in connecting emotionally with your potential client. So sometimes little mistakes like that are not a bad thing. They're human. And somebody will point out, hey, look at that. They spelled that wrong. Or hey, look at that. That's not good grammar. Right. So be very mindful that the content you're creating has to be emotional, because that's what gets people to at least be curious to go a step further and maybe watch a video, maybe go to a landing page, right? At least that. Because remember, something as basic as Facebook, when I'm scrolling through Facebook like this, I have no desire to sign up for martial arts classes. So if your ad pops up in my feed, I'm probably going to scroll right by it. Now, I saw this recently. I don't know if you guys have seen this one. This is starting to happen again. It started off with some reel, right? Because I get reels, and it was a reel of somebody doing something. I don't know what they were, it was one of the dramatic things, a dog attacking a guy, or, something, a car accident, or I don't know what it was, or two people fighting. And so it started out with this. Love you, no video ad. Yeah, we're going to look at that in a minute, Car. Thank you. Hold that thought, okay? And so, I'm watching this reel, then the reel ends and goes straight to an ad. And the ad, I don't know what it was for, milk or something. It had nothing to do with this reel. And it was very, very abrupt. It was very startling, and it kind of threw me for a loop. And I don't know, has anyone seen that in their reels lately? That'll start with the reel and then boom, when the reel ends, you're in an ad of some sort. Has anybody witnessed that? Put it there in the comments, please. So again, I want to be mindful that I want to respect the platform that I'm on. And that is crucial because those algorithms, they like it. Oh, you get us, yay, warm and fuzzy. And I've really experienced that with our Google ranking, with something like my martial arts blog. That's a prime example because they see the algorithms can tell it's real content. That's the first thing, right? They can tell it's real content, right? It's real content. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I tend to ignore the reels now. You're right, because the reels was again, right? We've had this discussion about marketing. Marketing has a way of destroying every environment. When Facebook was pushing reels, now stay with me. Here's the narrative, okay? Facebook was pushing reels. Gary Vee was pushing reels. Everyone's pushing reels 6 months ago as the last haven of uncharted, place to get eyes on you. But you know what it was? It was all power suggestion, to get everybody to start doing it, right? Monkey see, monkey do. And once they could say, hey, advertisers, hey, people who want to advertise, guess what? We got 80 billion people looking at reels and posting reels. You should put your advertising dollar there. Why? Because it got stagnant, maybe in the Facebook environment or the Instagram environment by itself, right? So they had to go into the reels of Facebook, which a year or so ago was all Instagram reels. Now Facebook has their own version. Facebook launched Threads, their version of X, or formerly Twitter, on and on. Because all they're doing is once they come in and rape and pillage and saturate it, then there we are. Everybody's dumbed down. Nobody's looking at the ads. I never look at the right side of my Facebook feed to see ads, and none of it ever. I can pretty much block that out. La 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 la. I can block it out now. It's a trip. But needless to say, it is what it is. Okay. So please do a little homework and understand what environment you're working in and be very mindful of that. If you go to try to run an ad at Facebook, it'll tell you we can't post this at Instagram. You have to resize the picture or the video or whatever the case may be. You got to. It tells you. Gotta do it. Okay. All right. So again, just a little bit of education will go a long, 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 long way. It will. It simply will. Okay. Now, when we talk about emotional content, um, Marco, is Brock out there in the universe? Right. You know me, my brand to me is so, so important. Just text me, tell me somewhere in here if Brock's ready to come aboard. Okay, hold on. Hold on, Brock. And so, my brand to me is so important. Live your best life. With something as simple as kids' life skills, we will demand that you co-brand with us, but do not simply run with the kids' life skills brand for your character development system because it's well known and proven. No, you want a co-brand which elevates your brand, right? But I control that narrative so much. I've gone back at the end of the week and looked at all my personal social media and deleted stuff because some of it is not in line with our core brand. And I don't want a potential parent going, let me see what the owner's about. Let me look at his LinkedIn, his Instagram, right? So I'm very mindful of that. And I think you should be too. And you know who's really big on that? Apple. Apple controls the narrative. Recently when they released their own VR Oculus type thing, that version that Apple has, they never once said metaverse. They never once said AI because there is a stigma. Meta, I bet if they could change your name back to Facebook, they would, right? The whole metaverse thing. Who's not seen a commercial on the metaverse recently? The whole meta thing with Facebook. Those ads to me used to be everywhere, everywhere, and now they're pretty much gone. Tell me you've seen one recently where they strap on their little VR headset and all of a sudden they're in this environment, that environment. I haven't seen any. So they understood that, and so Apple picked up on that. And the same thing with AI. Yeah, meta ads are gone. Yep, thank you, Cart. And then the same thing with AI because of all of the stuff around it. People cheating on college exams, people writing full books that are strictly AI generated, right? It's lazy, it's unoriginal, it lacks creativity. We could go on and on and on. So I am not a huge advocate of AI when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to cultivating your business. Cool? So hold that thought, that apple thought. Let's bring Brock aboard. What's happening, Brock?
Hey sir, how you doing?
You combed your hair today.
I
Oh,
did I did comb my hair today, and my Apple device in the room thinks I'm talking to them. So
oh, that's scary because they're
yeah,
listening to us. Big
yeah,
Brother is listening to us. So,
absolutely.
Brock, what we want to do is I'm going to spend about 5-10 minutes just sharing kind of what we went over yesterday with the growth partners and share it with our Facebook tribe here. First of all, Marco, let's pop up a PDF of what everybody's doing now in our industry predominantly. We just talked about AI and why people who do AI generated blogs and chat GPT blogs and stuff are actually getting dinged in their ranking because the algorithms recognize the content's not original. It's not. And I always lean into the reason I have the number one martial arts blog I could figure is because I have original content. Right. And if they go down the rabbit hole, they can see he's legit. He has a TED talk. He has a book. He owns these businesses. He's active on people's podcasts. So they can see that where I sit in the mix is not some deep fake fabricated thing. Because I don't do any ads for my blog. I don't do any excessive promotion of it. So what's your take? Why do you think I have the number one blog at Google? Brock, are you there?
Why do you? I think you have the number
Yeah.
one blog.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because it's personalized and it's written by you, and it's also not a martial arts blog for martial artists. You're not talking about beating people up. You're talking about it as someone who actually would read it and
Yep.
like to see it, which is a parent
Yep.
who has a kid that's having trouble focusing, or a
Yep.
kid that doesn't listen the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time they ask them to do something. You're not writing it for other martial artists, you're writing it for your target audience, or the people, which, if we're going to follow your branding, you're looking for the people who want to live a better life and who want that for their kids and even for themselves, because you have kickboxing as well. So
Thank you,
I
Brock.
think that blog is, again, branded the way you want it to, but you also know exactly who you're trying to reach with it, which is the
Yep.
people that want
Yep.
to live a better life.
Yep. And because we cater predominantly to children, I am very passionate about talking as a parent. In a lot of those blogs, I will talk as a parent. And I think that's the key thing. And thank you for that. I'm going to piggyback on that for a minute, Brock. Is too many martial arts schools market for themselves. And that's the biggest problem. Somebody had reached out to me and attacked me about that blog. They go, well, you're not teaching them how to break an arm, or you're not teaching anything of martial arts value. Why should you have the number one blog? I said, but the bigger demographic than the actual people in the martial arts industry that train in martial arts are the people seeking martial arts. They're a much bigger audience than people that are actual practitioners of the martial arts. So based upon that alone, is one reason why I think I rank higher and get more. Um, so I totally agree with you on that. Hey, Marco, can we throw up that PDF of what's going on in the industry right now?
I just sent him a screenshot in our
I
group
can
chat,
send you a
so he
screenshot.
should he should get it now.
Okay, cool. I see it here. Marco. And while Marco's getting that posted, so what do you think? Brock creates content, he writes scripts, he shoots the videos, he edits the videos for all of the growth partners and the mid-level clients at Dojo Launch, soon to be Kin Creative. Why do you think is the biggest challenge for the industry as a whole and the way that they choose to perceive not just Facebook ads, it could be Instagram, Google, all those, but they perceive their marketing. And why do they continue to position themselves poorly?
I think a lot of people don't, they're not honest with themselves about what marketing really is. Nobody wants to see an ad. None of us do. You go on YouTube, you click a video, and you have to watch two ads and you can't skip them. You're annoyed. Nobody wants to see ads, but they don't realize that and then say, okay, so I need to run ads, but nobody wants to see ads. So what should I do? I should make my content as close to what someone would see normally on social media as they can. And a lot of people don't even recognize that the marketing that we're doing, we're already a little bit behind the eight ball because nobody likes advertising. When
Nope.
you're watching TV, no one likes watching commercials. That's why things like satellite TV used to let you skip through commercials because people hate it. We don't like advertising, and a lot of it, as you say, they don't know their target audience. And you like as soon as you see it, you're like, this is an ad. Like every car commercial ever. I'm just like, come on, man. Why are you showing a kid? You're selling a car to a parent. You want to show something for the parent that's more than a kid. And that's when you get to something like this ad right here. You have no idea who you are trying to get to click on your get offer button. Does a parent want to see an AI generated Santa Claus?
No,
No, they want to
no,
see
they don't.
what you are going to provide for them.
Mhm.
So you want to show a kid doing martial arts. And for me, I love when the kid's smiling because if I was a parent, even though I'm only 21 years old, I already know that when I'm a parent, I want to see my kid smile all the time.
Yep.
So that's why I like to use a lot of content where a kid's smiling. This has nothing to do with me as a parent. Who who is Santa Claus doing a martial arts pose to a parent?
Well, again, and I got to call us out. I'll say as an industry, if you are not market savvy, and it starts with you knowing your why, knowing your purpose, knowing your brand. What is your brand promise to the community that you serve? If you don't know that, you look at this and go, well, that's kind of cool. Because that's all you got. I mean, I don't see why in any kind of mind somebody would click on this. I don't. I
Nope.
wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Right now, sure, you're scrolling through your feed really quick. You see it, you look at it, but I in no shape, way, or form would even want this associated with my brand of live your best life. Not at all. Not at all.
Nope.
Santa Claus AI generated in a karate stance has zero value to live your best life. Zero.
Yeah.
Yet this is rampant, and a lot of digital marketers are really pushing the AI generated dudes and blah blah blah. You know why? I'm gonna call them out as a whole. Being part of Dojo Launch now is we lack creativity. So whatever's trending, we hop on
Yep.
and we ride that freaking horse until it's dead. Then whatever trends next, we jump on that. There was a time in our industry, I don't know if I don't think you were in the industry on that level yet, where they would tell you, okay, carousel ads are what you need to do. Okay, now it's reviews. Got to get lots of reviews. That's what's, that's what's charting. And now video's king, video's king, video's king. Right. So then they go on and on and on. And there's always something they're recycling because they lack creativity. This, to me, I don't care how you want to slice or dice it, has zero creativity. It's good eye candy for a minute, but I, I wouldn't click on this. There's just no shape, way, or form. It has no value in how this is going to help my child be a better listener or earn confidence or stand up to bullying. None of it. None of
Yep.
it at all. Nor does it fulfill my brand promise of live your best life at
Even
all.
if you got somebody to click on this ad and they became a lead and they came in for a trial class, most likely they're not going to be a quality lead. This offer, 2 lessons in a uniform for $30, you're attracting people that want the cheapest activity for their kid, not the most beneficial to set them up for a really bright future, which is
Yes,
what
sir.
most parents want.
I agree 1,000%. Because again, it falls into the marketing thing that it's cheap.
Yep.
Now, what the heck? And I remember when we used to do that because we didn't, 1999, we would have people pay, especially with fitness kickboxing, 3 classes in boxing gloves. And we called them glove whores. They'd come in, take one class, and walk out with those gloves and never come back. Never come back.
Yep.
Never. Never. So, for me, I want to be extremely mindful of that, right?
Absolutely.
And what that means. So again, this is what's going on. Do we have any other ones like this? or is this the only one you sent over?
This is the best representation. I will tell you that the Facebook ads library is just full of things that are almost identical to this, just with maybe a different AI generated image. There's not a lot of people that are actually using real photos from their martial arts school for ads. And it's
Yeah,
because there's so many agencies that this is what they offer you.
yeah.
They offer you, we create only graphics for you and run only graphics. And
Well, because
we
yeah,
talked about yesterday, the reason why videos are so important is because you're putting a face, a name, and a voice to this ad. A lot of people need to see your brand 8 to 10 times before they actually go, okay, I'm going to click through and see what I can get out of this.
yeah.
You have to put a personal aspect on it, which is why, as we're about to show, the scripted video that we did with Brannon, there's a reason why we do scripted videos. We need to put a person and a voice to this brand that you're advertising.
And I think I've always felt that for me that was super super important. Even though I don't teach in my schools all the time, the face of a brand like Walt Disney, like Steve Jobs, like Elon Musk. I mean, the list goes on and on. Mark Zuckerberg. There's still that thing that comes with that face. And when you look at this ad, even though I'm not doing all the teaching, to establish that shot, um, test has become super powerful. And so go ahead, Marco. Can you run that commercial, please? What they want to do and when. A lot of parents today allow their child to dictate what they want to do and when they want to do it. But we know that's not how life works. And as soon as those kids are faced with adversity, they're going to be crushed. And that is why it is so important that we instill grit in our children, challenging them to do the things that require extra effort, like earning a black belt. And when they can learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable and thrive in it, that's when they recognize their unlimited potential. It gives kids the skill set to believe in themselves and to become resilient to outside negative influences. And if you want your child to be happier and healthier, then bring them to One Martial Arts for a complimentary class. All right. So I think the first thing that I found, let's not even do that for a minute. Let's show the stats. What's happening with this ad? Can you throw that up, Marco? And then
Yeah.
Brock's going to kind of walk us through it. I learned a
Okay,
lot.
so there's a couple of different things, a couple of different metrics. We're just going to stick to the first two. We're not going to complicate it too much. So results means leads. Cost per result means cost per lead. So we started this video, I think it was like maybe November 28th or something.
Mhm.
So in about 10 days, we have 10 leads, one lead per day at $25 cost per lead in the month of December, which is a historical bad and slow month for marketing for martial arts schools.
Yep.
This is a very high performing ad, and it's not only just performing, 5 leads in the first 2 days and then no leads for the next 20. We're consistently getting about one lead per day. I'm checking it every morning going, oh my God, there's another lead. Cool. And one of the trends I've noticed on my daily checkups is the cost per lead started at around $37 and it has been going down with every single lead that we're getting, which means that we're actually getting a higher percentage of people signing up the more the video has been played, which is also a good indicator of a really high performing ad.
That's very cool. And as I'm checking my stats now at my studio, Millbrae has 6 new students, not trials. 6 new students have signed up this month. From what we've done, we've had 3 new students in San Francisco. Hang on, let's see. We've had 6 new trials in Millbrae. That's an average of 1 a day right now. And San Francisco has had 4 trials through the door. I think that's really good for a really bad month. So that means technically, if we ride that horse, we'll have roughly 30 new trials through the door in San Francisco, 30 new trials through the door in Millbrae. If just based upon today's data, if we have 4 new students in Millbrae, 6 new students in Millbrae, potentially today's what, the 7th?
Eight.
Times that by 4. Well, roughly, okay, what times it by 3? We'll be
Yeah.
generous. That's 18 new students. New students. And
In a
it's
month where the last week of the year is basically a throwaway.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I also think we stand out from the noise,
Yep.
right? Of those AI. I mean, those AI generated ads. It just shows me people's lack of of branding, their lack of understanding the brand, their discipline when it comes to telling a story. They're just simply blindly handing money to some ad agency that's going, AI generated is testing well. Okay. Well, because you say so, right? I mean, this is straight out of our Facebook ads. And the big thing, I think Adam talked a lot about that yesterday. Adam, who is the CEO of Dojo Lunch, he talked a lot about vanity metrics. We
Yep.
are so fixated on the cost per click. Ooh, it's a low cost per click. I don't, there's not a big difference between $1.32 and $1.91 when we're potentially looking at, you know, thousands of dollars in revenue that one student can generate. So I think vanity metrics for me are something I tend to shy away from. So tell me, Brock, just and then I'll let you go and get back into the subject of the show. Why is it that digital marketers sell you on cost per clicks? And why is it that martial arts school owners take it as the holy grail that this is working?
I would say one of the big things is a martial arts school owner isn't informed of what the actual metrics they should be looking for are. Cost per click doesn't mean anything. We don't look at cost per click at all. We're looking at results, cost per result, amount spent is a good thing to know, just to know which ads are spending more in a day. And then I like to look at there's these really cool metrics called video views at 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. So I can actually see how many people have watched the whole video. And then it will tell you the average watch time of all the people that have seen it. This ad has an average watch time of 3 seconds, which is bad if you look at it. But if it has 10 leads, doesn't matter if the average time is 4 seconds. It matters that 10 people have probably watched it for 75% or more. And
Yeah, and
this
that's why
ad,
the first 3 seconds, I think you and I, as Brock and I get to work together and craft scripts, and we shot a bunch of stuff when they're out here at It's Time. That first 3 seconds is important.
crucial.
Yeah. So what was the opening line of this one again? Of
A
this ad?
lot of parents let their kids dictate what they want to do and when they want to do it. That
That,
is a very pointed sentence.
mhm.
Like you could turn a lot of parents off by saying that.
Yep.
But you could also get a lot of parents that go, hell yeah, my kid's trying to dictate what they're doing with me, and I don't like it, and I don't want them to do it anymore. So I'm going to keep watching the next sentence and the next sentence and the next sentence. Every single thing has to make them get more and more interested. First
Mhm.
sentence, first shot, music. The more time they're watching, they have to be getting more and more interested in what you're quote unquote selling. We're selling something, as all advertising is, but it's super important to think about, okay, if I was a parent, would this resonate with me? Okay, a lot of them it's not going to, but that doesn't matter because there's going to be some of them that it really resonates with. And then the next sentence and the next sentence. And then as soon as you say the word, we teach grit, boom, you're targeting a very specific audience of people who are like, I learned grit and it got me to where I am in life, and I need my kid to learn grit
Yeah.
because they're
Yep.
on their
Yep.
devices
Yep.
too much, they're not getting enough exercise, whatever it may be. Grit's
Yep.
huge, and the
And,
people
and,
that
and,
believe
and
in it
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, and it is a certain audience. It's parents who don't look at it as disposable income. It's parents that look at it. When we collectively came together with invest in your child's future.
Yeah,
That's powerful. And that, but like we've been discussing, it doesn't, and when we create that emotional connection, you have to fulfill that brand promise when they walk into your school. And if we're going to run an ad that says invest in your child's future, and you come into my school and take a trial, then ask me how much for martial arts classes, you better reply with, well, your investment for your child's personal development and future is. So you're reinforcing that Facebook ad. And I think that's really unique in what we're trying to cultivate, because that emotional connection can be broken really fast if you talk out of the other side of your face with some other silly AI generated Santa Claus,
Yeah,
right? We sit there talk about your child's investment, then we see some Santa Claus like this, AI generated. No rhyme or reason, as Issa's sharing, also of Doja Launch. If you look at any of these AI generated ads and take away the ad copy or Facebook page, only look at the creative, you can rarely tell what gym is even running the ad. And
exactly.
that's so sad. If you see Mickey Mouse, you know Disney all day, every day. You see that AI generated Santa Claus, tell me they're going to associate that with your martial arts school. And you can hear almost the anger and frustration in my voice because most martial arts school owners are not educated to know that this is so important. Talk to Elon Musk about Tesla, and Steve Jobs was here. Talk to him about Apple. They protect their brand like a newborn baby. It is so important. And they talk about controlling the narrative, really communicating their brand in an effective way, builds trust. It gets people to believe in what you do. Santa, AI generated Santa, you might get someone to buy this trial, but they're never going to believe in what you do. Tell me, how is anybody going to believe in the culture of one martial arts and live your best life with some AI generated Santa doing this crap?
They're not.
They're not.
No.
And that's why you guys, you hurt our industry as a whole, from the digital marketers to the martial arts schools that are going, okay, run that ad. I'm telling you, you have to value your brand so much more. But that requires you to become educated. That requires you to go the extra mile. It just does. And if you're not willing to do that, then I don't know what to tell you. But those ads have been coming across my feed because I clicked on a couple of them. Now I'm getting them like crazy. And every kid's AI generated, sitting in some superhero scene and all freaking photoshopped AI generated out, like that stupid app that was out 6 months ago where you could put yourself and I'm in a spacesuit, I'm in a cowboy hat. You remember that one where you're all AI generated? And I'm like, wow, our industry just makes me nuts sometimes because, and I say it passionately because we're better than that. We really are better than that. But Brock, I want to thank you for that. Don't get caught up in those vanity metrics. Look for more amazing things from Dojo Launch, soon to be Kin Creative, because we're experimenting. One Martial Arts is somewhat of a guinea pig. And once we have these killer ads, and I say this because we have the one kickboxing ad, right, Brock? Tell them just quickly about that.
Yeah, so we made an ad, which was all shot on Brandon's iPhone, actually, which me having my own cameras, that's kind of been our backbone of high quality content is we're shooting it on cameras, but we weren't able to get to San Francisco until it's time live. So Brandon and I worked on a script together
Yeah.
and we edited the video at the start. And I had, a couple clips of Brandon and then some kickboxing clips, and then it would go back to Brandon and then it would go back to B-roll. And Brandon said, just take me out completely. This is not about me. It's about getting a great workout in. And we just stuck with clips of two different women doing kickboxing with a voiceover. We threw some subtitles on it because, quick tip, a lot of people listen to ads without the audio. A lot of people scroll through their social medias without having audio on. So it's important to have subtitles, especially if the person speaking is not on the screen, because they might not know that you're delivering a really great script because they're not listening to the sound. So we threw some subtitles on it, really cool clips, and it's been running since May and is still generating
Yeah.
tons of leads
Yeah.
every single month. And the shelf life of a Facebook ad is normally 2 weeks. And that brings me to something else I wanted to say. This video that we just showed, the Kids Dictate one, that's like a 50-second scripted video. I get emails from Facebook all the time telling me to keep our video ads as close to 15 seconds as possible. So there are some rules that Facebook says, oh, this is going to get you better this and better that, that are made to be broken. If you make a better scripted video with great content and a great script that's longer than 15 seconds, doesn't mean it's not going to work. The kickboxing ads 50 seconds too, and it's been working since May, which is unheard of in the martial arts industry. We're a very different form of marketing. If you're an e-commerce brand like an Apple, you're marketing to the entire world. You can make one ad for an entire year and it might not even reach everybody. Martial arts schools, you're marketing to a 5 mile or less radius, which means it is so easy for every single person in that radius to see your ad in 2 weeks. And if they see it again, they're going to get tired of it. But somehow, the kickboxing ad that we've made is still performing well, and it's 7 months later. It
Yeah, and
takes,
really, my goal is that, to me, it's a unicorn. Do it
yep,
once, you're lucky. Do it twice, and do it three times. So, you know, I envision and hope that this next ad, which we did a little different because we started with me, but we want to establish, that authority because we're teachers. Fitness industry is different. Nobody cares what instructor's teaching half the time and all the rest. But this type of cultivating this type of storytelling narrative that's not so much focused on selling other than come take a complimentary class. It really tells a story that this format, this next ad is going to perform just as well, if not better, because we're going to get better, folks. We're going to keep learning together. I don't mind using one martial arts as the guinea pig. As with many of the systems I've written, the character development, I cultivate these things, experiment in my school, then I bring it to you as a product. I can't just sit there and make up stuff. So this is real data that Brock's sharing with you. And as we cultivate more on this, this is going to become hopefully an industry standard,
yeah.
for cultivating a video, for that. So, hey, thanks a lot, Brock. I appreciate it, man. And
Thank
maybe
you.
next week we'll do more of this. I think
Yeah,
people really need to be educated. And that's to me is the key to empowerment as a small business owner. The more that I'm educated, the more I can make an educated decision.
absolutely. I taught myself every single thing that I know about shooting videos, editing videos, writing scripts.
Yeah, but you're
Just
in
like
film school too. Don't take that
I
away.
am I am in film school as well, but like when I go to my film school classes, I know way more things technical wise because before film school I thought, "Oh my God, I'm going to be the least experienced person here, so I better learn it myself before I get there." And then
Mhm,
I found out, "Oh wow, no one else did that." You
mhm.
can you can teach yourself how to film good content on an iPhone. It is possible.
Yep,
It
and that's
just
our
takes
goal, right? I mean, that's one of our goals. We want to empower, our growth partners and our mid-level clients. We want to empower you to shoot these videos so you're not left prisoner of some AI generated Santa Claus, you guys,
yep,
because you're paying 500 bucks a month for some cheap ass digital marketer and they're going to give you an AI generated Santa. If we can bridge that gap and get you to shoot good content, then we can cultivate that content and get you results. It's a
yep.
partnership. That's why, we call it growth partners.
And
Hey,
we're all
Brock,
going to get there together. We are
absolutely.
all going to get to the point where we can make videos ourselves
Mhm,
and get great ads all year round. That's the
mhm.
goal. Everybody needs to do it, but it starts with knowing how important it is and wanting to learn.
Yes, sir.
Just like martial arts, you wanted your next belt, you wanted your next stripe, you wanted a black belt. It just takes you wanting to. That's the biggest step in the process to learning it. That's what I did. It's what all martial artists did. And that's what we can do for making your own content. It's
Yeah.
possible.
And that's really the goal because the more we can get school owners to be part of the process of cultivating these ads and writing the content, the better you become at telling your story, people. You are the storyteller of your business. You are the face of your business. You are the beginning of it. You're the one that controls that. And the more we can get you to explore that together with us, I believe the better opportunity you have of positioning yourself as something different in the community you serve. If all you say is we're focused and disciplined and some silhouette of a guy kicking. It's just done. We're done. We're done. And we're better than that. Hey, thanks a lot, Brock. I'm going to wrap
Thank
up.
you, sir.
I
Talk
appreciate
soon.
it. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and as Marco's saying there in his comments, I know before I rebranded, I never really thought of my school as a brand. I think most school owners don't and don't know what the process entails or how powerful it is for their business. You're right, Marco, but I'm going to ask anybody, study Apple, study Disney, study Nike, right? These are iconic brands that have stood the test of time, wars, pandemics, mortgage crisis.com, all these things, because these brands are so well defined. People believe in them so much. Hell or high water, they will stand with their brand. Oh, I like that. Stand with your brand. Write that down. And that's really what this is about. My relationship with Dojo Launch Kin Creative was born out of them signing up for my executive mentoring program. And I said, I'm sick and tired of simply being held mercy by somebody telling me they're the expert. I'm a small business owner. I want to empower myself. I already know a lot about social media when I got into the relationship with them, as I've cultivated my brands, but I wanted to go on the back end. Why this metric? Why this visual? Why this, and that kind of thing? Is when you can tie the creative storytelling with understanding how the back end behaves, the algorithms and all that stuff, I believe we can write even better content. That's my goal. So the more I understand, cost per clicks and all that other stuff that goes on, the more I go, this copy didn't test well. Okay, is it because the copy sucks? Because this is just algorithms and data. Or is it genuinely that this copy rocks and they're wrong? That's why the vanity metrics I want you to be mindful of. Oh, the cost per click is low. I don't give a shit. I want to create a relationship because you'll spend thousands and thousands of dollars with me. I don't care about the cost per click. Those are called vanity metrics. Google it, look it up. Vanity metrics. Be mindful because it's another one of the smoke and mirrors of digital media companies to get you feel warm and fuzzy like they're doing their job. Cool? All right. So let's wrap this up. I'm going to start by thanking my sponsors. We have Tucson, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting. I love you guys. I thank you. You don't censor me. You don't tell me what I can and cannot do. And I value that trust. I value that trust to me. And it's one of the reasons why the show continues to go on. It's because of our sponsors, right? I want to mention that we'll be up in Canada. I'm going to release it before the end of the year. Get your check ready, your credit card. You want to be in Canada with us May 25th through 28th for It's Time Live Canada. I've never done a Canada tour. If you're in the Toronto area, when I release this, we're only going to give 20 to 30 spots. We're looking how we can manage it because there seems to be this huge, huge interest in Canada that we didn't. Well, yeah, because I've never been in Canada. So I guess it makes sense. Buy your ticket before the end of the year. Why? Smart business. Give yourself the tax write-off for 2023. Any smart business right now is looking at their profit for the year. They're putting money into their retirement and their investments, right? And they're reinvesting it back into their business so they can have the tax deferred and the expense. Please be mindful that you're doing that. You got it? All right. We also have It's Time Live Purpose. Yes. November 9th through 12th. Same thing. Only 20 spots. San Francisco, I'm not going to change that. San Francisco, we're going to be disciplined. We're going to stay with the 20 spots. We're staying with it. So if you want something special and be part of something special, that is the event. Cool. All right, folks. I want to thank you for dinner. We're going to continue this dialogue. I'm inspired to maybe bring Brock on once a week or Adam when we're doing the show just to get you, because for me, that's always been one of the greatest areas of my business. And honestly, we were at 1,000+ students after, before the pandemic. But when that pandemic hit, the only way we could reach our audiences to market was through digital marketing. So that's when I finally stood up and started looking at Facebook ads and everything else. I 10x'd it, in social media and every which way, built a 6-figure consulting. It works for our Kids Love Life Skills. And now I'm deep into understanding Facebook ads. I could stand a toe with any digital marketer and tell you if they're full of it or not. And I enjoy that empowerment. I don't say that egotistically because I've been down a rabbit hole. It's like freaking Alice in Wonderland / Matrix. What the heck? What the heck? I ran into AI, metaverse, Chat GPT. I could go on and on. But that education empowers me to understand what it takes to not only control the narrative, but to best position my brand. So if and when people are ready to sign up for martial arts, we are the only people they come to. You with me? You with me? And that is why I have the #1 martial arts blog at Google. That is why no matter which way you search for martial arts in San Francisco or Millbrae, we come up on page 1, sometimes at the very top. All of that has been through education and the farmer mentality of nurturing that environment with Google, understanding their requirements and respecting that, understanding Facebook and respecting that, understanding Instagram, understanding those environments. All of it is part of an ongoing education that I invest in because without it, it's going to be very challenging to grow your business. We were a unicorn at 1,000 students with no digital marketing. We will never not do digital marketing again. Ever, 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 ever. Cool? All right. I'm Brannon Beliso. Subscribe to my YouTube channel or Spotify or Apple because our podcast is there. It's there. Success Never Sleeps and Mindful Meditations. Please follow me at Instagram. Join our Disruptor group at Facebook And for everything else, please go to brandonbeliso.com. Thank you, Marco, for holding down the fort. Until we talk again, please, you go out there, live your best life. Oh, am I still here? Live your best life. Marco, live your best life. Oh, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Are you taking me out, Marco? Let's go. Bye, everybody. See, this is that uncomfortable part in the newsfeed. Go out there.
Yeah.